Hi Blue Math Group. So today's lesson can be found in the Go Math book on page 461. Line plots. So we're moving away from measurement and we're going to do some graphing. Our essential question, how can you make and interpret line plots with fractional data? So we'll be able to make a line plot, we'll be able to use the information to answer questions. So on page 461, we're going to unlock the problem. The data shows the links of the buttons in Jen's collection. For an art project, she wants to know how many buttons are longer than 1/4 inch. So you can see in the box with the light purple on top that it says the length of buttons in Jen's collection in inches. So you have 1/4, 3/4, 1/4, 4/4, 1/4, 4/4. You can use a line plot to solve the problem. A line plot is a graph that shows the frequency of data along a number line. Looking at example 1, we're going to use the information in the table to make the line plot to show the data. So step 1, we have to order the data from least to greatest length and then complete the tally table. So we're using this information and we have to use every single bit of it. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different fractions that we have to put in order from least to greatest. So looking at the fractions, go ahead and do that and make sure you have 6 different fractions lined up from smallest to greatest. And what I like to do is cross it off when I use it so that I know I've used it and it's taken care of. So I know 1/4 is the smallest, but there's more than 1/4, so we have to make sure we list them all. So we got 1/4, we've got the second one, and we've got a third one. So now we have 3/4, 4/4, and 4/4 left. So go ahead and finish. So 3/4 would be next. 4/4, 4/4. So we're going to complete the tally table next. So a tally table, you use tally marks to show the information. So length in inches, 1/4. There's 1, 2, 3, so I'll do 1, 2, 3 tally marks. Next is 3/4. There's 1, so 1 tally mark. Next is 4/4, 1, 2, so 2 tally marks. Step 2, label the fraction links on the number line below from the least value of the data to the greatest. So here is where we're going to label the fraction links. So we have 1/4, and we're not going to skip any fourths. You include all the fourths, and if you don't have any in that measurement, you just don't mark any. We're also going to label this with the name of the line plot. So length of buttons in Jen's collection in inches. Same here. So length of buttons in Jen's collection. In inches. So then we know what that line plot represents. All right, so step 3, we're going to plot an X above the number line for each data point. Oh, I already wrote the title. Write a title for the line plot. So I already did that, but I kind of switched them around a little. So now we place X's above the number line for each data point. So 1/4, 1, 2, 3. We need 3 X's. 1, 2, 3. 2/4, nothing, so we just leave it blank. 3/4, there's 1 tally mark, so 1 X. And 4/4, there are 2 tally marks. So 2 X's. So now the question above was, for an art project, she wants to know how many buttons are longer than 1/4 inch. So how many buttons are longer than 1/4 inch? So not 1/4. So you count the X's. 1, 2, 3. So 3 buttons are longer than 1/4 inch. Now there's some more questions at the bottom that we could answer using the line plot. Number 1, how many buttons are in Jen's collection? So they want the total number of buttons. So you can count up the X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 buttons in Jen's collection. What is the difference? And if you remember vocabulary for math, difference means you subtract. So what is the difference in length between the longest button and the shortest button in Jen's collection? The longest is 4/4. Difference means we subtract. Shortest button, 1/4. So 4/4 minus 1/4 equals 3/4 inch. Okay, so we can use that line plot to answer some questions about the button lengths that Jen has. All right, so let's go ahead and look at page 462 next. Example 2. Some of the students in Ms. Lee's class walk to school. The data show the distances these students walk. What distance do most students walk? So we're going to make a line plot to show the data. So here's our information. There's our fractions. Now they're not all in fourths this time, but we could figure that out as well if we needed to. So step 1, order the data from least to greatest distance and complete the tally table. So the smallest distance again is 1/4. And make sure you get all of them. There should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different fractions on the line. So 1/4 is our smallest. So I like to cross it off when I use it. We have another 1/4. Cross it off. And then we have a half. 1/2. 1/2. 1/2. 1/2. And 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different fractions. Step 2, label the fraction lengths on the number line below. Whoops, forgot to do the tally table. Complete the tally table. So distance in miles, we have 1/4, we have 1/2, we have 3/4. So tally marks, 1/4, we have 1, 2, 2 tally marks. 1/2, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 tally marks. 3/4, we have 1 tally mark. Now, step 2, label the fraction lengths on the number line below, from the least value of the data to the greatest. So, you could change 1/2 to 2/4 if you want to keep them all in fourths, or you could leave it as 1/2 as well. So 1/4, 1/2, 3/4. Step 3, plot an X above the number line for each data point. Write a title for the line plot. So 1/4 has 2 tally marks, 2 X's. 1/2, 4 tally marks, 4 X's. 3/4, 1 tally mark, 1 X. Title, distance, students, walk to school. In miles. So our question above, what distance do most students walk? Well, take a look at the line plot. You can see the tallest stack of X's, 1, 2, 3, 4. So most students walk 1/2 mile. Now we can answer some other questions that go with it as well. Number 3, how many more students walk 1/2 mile than 1/4 mile to school? So how many students walk 1/2 mile? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many students walk 1/4 mile? 1, 2. So 4 minus 2, 2 more students. Number 4, what is the difference between the longest distance and the shortest distance that students walk? So the difference between the longest and the shortest distance. Well, look at our line plot. Longest 3/4. Shortest 1/4. The difference means we subtract. 3/4 minus 1/4 equals 2/4, or 1/2. Number 5. What if a new student joins Miss Lee's class who walks 3/4 miles to school? How would the line plot change? Well, there would be an extra X on 3/4. Okay. All right. Moving on to share and show and on your own on page 463. A food critic collected data on the lengths of time customers waited for their food. Order the data from least to greatest time, make a tally table and a line plot to show the data. So here's our time customers waited for food in hours. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different fractions, or a whole number in the case of 1, that we need to put in line from smallest to biggest, or least to greatest. So again, our smallest is 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/2, 3/4. Oops. Aha, good thing I crossed them off because I forgot one. There's 2 1/2s. Now 3/4. And 1 whole. So there's our least to greatest. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which we had 7 in our table. So next we're going to make a tally table. So our distances or times are 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, 1 whole. So 1/4, there's 1, 2, 3, 3 tallies. 1/2, 1, 2, 2 tallies. 3/4, 1 tally, 1 whole, 1. So now we're going to make a line plot to show the data. So we've got 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, and 1. And I'll have to make the X's a little smaller because I wrote my information here. I probably should have done it down below here. So 1/4, we have 1 2, 3 x's. 1/2, 1, 2 x's. 3/4, 1 x, and 1 whole 1 x. And don't forget your title, time customers waited for food in hours. Okay, awesome. Now we're going to use your line plot to answer 2 and 3. So the question is, on how many customers did the food critic collect data? Well, count all the x's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 customers. Number 3, what is the difference, that means we subtract, between the longest time and the shortest time that the customers waited? Well, longest time is 1 whole, which we know is 4/4, minus the shortest time, which is 1/4, which equals 3/4 of an hour. All right, on your own, I'm going to give you some time to do it, and then I will work it through so that you could see how it should look. So on your own, you work it. I'll give you some time, like I said. The data show the lengths of the ribbons that Mia used to wrap packages. Make a tally table and a line plot to show the data. So here's your data. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different fractions. So remember, first off, you put in order from smallest to the shortest to longest. Put your lengths in, fill in your tally table, put your lengths, x's, title, and answer question number 5. What is the difference in length between the longest ribbon and the shortest ribbon Mia used? Okay, now some of you might not be done, but go ahead and finish. So first step is to put these in order from smallest, from shortest to longest. So I'm gonna go down below this time so I don't get in the way of my x's. So 1/6, 2/6, 2/6, 2/6, 3/6, 3/6, 5/6, and 6/6. Okay. So next off, we do our length in yards over here. So we've got 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 5/6, and 6/6. So there's 1 tally for 1/6, 3 tallies for 2/6, 2 tallies for 3/6, 1 tally for 5/6, and 1 tally for 6/6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have them all. Next step is to then list your lengths. And they don't want us to skip 4, 6, even if there aren't any. When you do your line plot, you can put all your 6 from the smallest to the greatest. So 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, 6/6. Okay, so 1/6, we have 1x, 2/6, 3 x's, 3/6, 2 x's, 4/6, none, 5/6, 1, and 6/6, 1. Title, ribbon, length used to wrap packages in yards. Okay, now we can answer question 5, or you did already, so let's see what that might be. So what is the difference in length between the longest ribbon and the shortest ribbon Mia used? So longest ribbon, 6/6. Difference means we subtract. Shortest ribbon, 1/6. 6/6 minus 1/6, 5/6 of a yard. All right. So that's going to be all we do for the lesson, but I would also like you to do the mid-chapter checkpoint, which starts on page 465. So the first page, we got the vocabulary, where you choose the correct term from the box. And then we move down to the concepts and skills. And as you know, this covers what we've learned so far in this chapter. And then on page 466, you will do the multiple choice. And homework today will be evens. The homework page is 229. We'll do the even numbers. Well, actually, can't do that. So on this one, we're going to do all of the homework because it works together as a team. And there's not that many. So they're just 5 and 230. Do the 2 on top and then all of spiral review. So homework this time is all of page 229 and 230. And if you would take a picture and submit it on Seesaw or email and keep it in your workbook for later. Thank you.